The word circus still generates a special magic in the hearts and minds of both the young and old whenever the word is spoken. There are few who have never, at least once in their lives, experienced the excitement, joy, and sheer exhilaration of the circus when it brings its unique brand of family entertainment to countless cities and towns across the entire United States, and sometimes the world. Littleton, Massachusetts, located about 40 miles northwest of Boston, is not unlike many of those suburban communities where the arrival of the circus sets off a ripple of anticipation throughout the various neighborhoods scattered across the town. It's midsummer in Littleton, which is about to play host to the world-renowned Kelly Miller Circus, one of the country's oldest traveling circus shows, having been founded in 1938. This is the story of how such a globe-trotting roadshow can almost magically arrive in the early morning hours of their opening date, skillfully complete the massive task of setting up the infinite number of pieces of equipment and apparatus, not to mention its big top, present the many colorful acts featuring wild animal trainers, aerial daredevils, and of course those ever popular clowns in what may appear to be hardly any time at all. Then, pack up the entire operation and begin the journey to its next destination. You're going to meet some of the people who call the circus their home and take part in this great American tradition which has lived on for over a century. You'll also see how many of the long-standing methods of constructing the circus and setting up the main circus tent with the help of the show's popular four-legged performers are still used today. You'll see the circus like you've never seen it before when the circus comes to town. A warm July morning spreads bright sunshine across the landscape of the Littleton, Massachusetts Middle School grounds. The weather forecast is calling for typically July heat and humidity in the New England area. But for the circus setup crews arriving for the Littleton appearance, they'll be ready to get their work done regardless. The caravan of trucks, which is packed like great rolling suitcases with everything the Kelly Miller Circus requires, lumbers into the school field. 7 18-wheelers, 3 motorhomes, and a bevy of travel trailers, which the circus staff and performers will occupy during the long road trips across the country, are literally motorized single-family homes, which they can take with them. As the saying goes, an army marches on its stomach, but the circus moves on its wheels. Wheels transport the circus from place to place. Everything the circus needs, uses, and offers gets to where it's going thanks to the wheels it rides upon. The trucks themselves, which carry the circus across the map, represent a grand three-dimensional scrapbook of the American trucking industry. Bright red behemoths with diesel hearts and unbreakable backbones, always willing to carry their share of the load. Each truck and trailer is directed into its assigned parking spot. Tons of equipment will make the journey from city to town to village. Nothing is left behind. Nothing is forgotten. It's a familiar ritual for the setup crew, mechanics, laborers, and tradesmen who unpack the circus's many essentials and begin the familiar task of preparing for the opening day performance, scheduled in just a few hours. The main circus tent is now just a massive fold of canvas, supports, hundreds of feet of rope, and all the various hardware needed to create one of the most beloved symbols in all of the entertainment world, the circus big top. Thousands of square feet of canvas, compacted into neatly folded stacks, are hauled into the predetermined area where the tent will be erected. Along with the ever-present role of wheels of all sizes, human muscle power is another important implement that moves the circus into life. In an age when mechanized devices are usually called upon to assist in any task of this size, At the circus, there's an easier way to move heavy objects and assemble the pieces of what will be the center stage of the big show, harnessing the power of the circus elephants. While those powerful pachyderms lend their massive bulk in helping to construct the circus tent, other animals who will later be providing their share of the entertainment get to relax, such as the camels, indifferent to all the activity around them, as well as the circus horses, calm and composed. Lucky Eddie Strafer is the musical director of the Kelly Miller Circus, and he was happy to describe the step-by-step operation of putting the circus together once it arrives at its new location.
We leave every morning. We'll tear down and pack up every night. Then each morning we drive to the next town. The tent that travels on a trailer, the tent weighs 6,000 pounds. They start unfolding the tent and driving the stakes at the same time. He puts 64 stakes around the outside. And then the elephant comes in and pulls up the 4 center poles.
Joe Knox and his team at Knox Real Estate are responsible for bringing the Kelly Miller Circus to Littleton.
For over 30 years now, my wife and I have been bringing the circus to town once every 3 years. 3 years gives us enough time. We're a small community, so we can keep the interest here. Every time we do it, we donate the money back to the town, either to a town department or a town organization. There's a lot of effort that goes into it. We'll probably, we usually average about anywhere between $1,800 and $2,500 that we donate back. It's quite the show. It's actually the most well-attended one-day show that Littleton has during the year. We possibly could get up to as many as 1,500 people for the shows combined. Now I think there's only 3 remaining traveling circuses on the East Coast, so this is quite the event to see. It's just a wonderful event for the town, for the young kids, and there's a little bit of money that's raised.
Soon, the grandstands will be in place. The performers will be in their costumes. The animals will be assembled in their proper places. The ringmaster will be ready to command the performance to begin, and the audience will be in their seats when the circus comes to town. The show is a whirlwind of non-stop action, music, and entertainment, featuring the sensational juggling of Raul Oliveras, the Australian aerialist Nikita, Casey McCoy's Tiger, rope spinner Joe Falk, Carolyn Rice's Dog and Pony Review, the Bollywood dancers, the hilarity of the Kelly Miller Clowns featuring Steve and Ryan, the Silk Road Camels, and the Kelly Miller Performing Elephants. But perhaps one of the most daring and dramatic performers in the Kelly Miller lineup was fire eater Brian LaPalme and his protege Jeremiah Cook. There's something very quaint, uncomplicated, and eternally charming about the circus experience. A style of family entertainment which in many ways has been replaced by the non-stop, electronics-driven culture of the new millennium. The old-fashioned circus under the old-fashioned big top on a warm July night retains much of the mystique and charm which captivated our parents and our grandparents before them. The performance is ended, and the many delighted members of the audience now head for home. Both adults and children file out of the circus tent, taking with them countless unforgettable memories of the laughter, thrills, and excitement they've seen and heard on this midsummer night. But for the Kelly Miller crew, even before the final act takes its curtain call, the laborious task of packing everything up had already begun. The crew knows there's a lot of work ahead before their night is over. The circus is expected to be ready for its next performance in another town down the road, and there's no time to rest or relax. Of course, the most daunting task is the lowering of the huge big top, which for the past several hours was filled with the lively sounds of laughter, music, and suspense. Resembling an immense beach ball gradually deflating, the big top is reduced to a foldable, movable stack of fire-resistant canvas, which will be loaded back onto a trailer truck and shuttled to another field in another town for the next performance. With the same precision and coordination needed to set the circus up, the reverse operation moves ahead with efficiency and smoothness. It's time to roll into the pitch-black night, with truck after truck fulfilling its mission to transport a colorful cargo of circus dreams to their next port of call. The music has stopped. The applause has ended, at least for now. And the highway is the only stage this circus will be appearing on until the sun begins the new day. But there will be more music and more applause, and another audience to entertain and delight waiting somewhere down the road when the circus comes to town.